Hey everybody, and welcome to my in5 series where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. I got another production question from Bug Out, which is how often do you find yourself resampling versus just stacking effects? Like, do you run out of FX slots, resample, clear the effects out, and fill it in further? And this is going to be kind of similar to what I was talking about for the previous video, but yes, I do have to say it depends on what device I'm on. On the MPC, you have all kinds of sends, returns. You've got 4 effects per instrument. So I'm usually only using like 2 to 3, sometimes 4 effects, and per instrument. And it's usually the kind of like I'll put like a low pass or high pass filter, maybe a band pass on it. Maybe I'm doing some compression to try and boost the signal up or just get things to a similar level. Um, then you're going to kind of get into like some of the bog standard, like what are you doing for tone? Maybe like a flavor pro or cassette effect or something to just kind of change the tone or character of it to make it a little bit more organic. And then you get into the very, very bog standard. If it makes sense, I'll toss like a delay or reverb or both onto it. And it depends on what part of the stack you're in. But if you're going to be, if you're thinking you might be repitching audio content later, you need to be much more careful with anything that has a rhythmic or synced tone to it, because as you pitch that up or down, it's going to, if you're not pitching up in full octave amounts, it can get out of sync and then start sounding weird. On the other hand, that can be a very creative way to go about doing it. But I'm just trying to let you know, you want to be careful for anything that where you're running like a synced LFO for like a phaser or tremolo, or if you're doing like like a synced delay, or even just like a delay in general, like a dun dun dun, and then you start pinching it up, it's going to go faster, and if you pitch it down, it's going to go slower, and this can cause you a lot of headache and heartburn. So for me, it's more about when I'm resampling that content, what part of the effect do I want to be able to play with potentially, or am I okay with just like taking it as is? And if it doesn't work when I start pitching things up and down, if I'm doing that, then whatever, like it's cool. So if the intent is I'm resampling to just keep playing the exact same content, yeah, I will resample whatever, like delays, reverbs, anything else. But if I'm planning on trying to do like a speed up or rolls with something later, I will be very cautious of taking anything that's synced to it. And to give you an example, like I've got this track here, it's just 1 bar, but let's make it, I'm actually going to make it 4 bars, just so we record more content when I actually resample. But sounds fine. And I can put this phaser delay on it. Let's go. Yeah, like here's fine. You got like kind of like pulsing sound added to it. I like how it sounds. Sounds nice. And if I come in and do Shift Option, double tap Edit, and then hit external USB, we're going to basically record it with that sound coming in. And just re-recording it, there's a couple thoughts that come to mind. One, we did not capture that tail, which might be very important as a transition from what we just played into like something next. So I may need to actually put in some blank space so that I can record in that tail. Another thing is that the way that it leads in is the sound, it's taking that time for the delay to kind of build up into that feedback buffer. So it's like, it's kind of building up and it sounds different. So if I even just come in and take this and drop it in, double tap. So we don't want the effect on anymore on the Chaos Pad Mini. We'll just be doubling it up and it won't be showing what I'm trying to show. But we've got this here. I'm going to create some blank phrases. If I come over and play it, you can hear it's taking like half a second to kind of kick in. If I play, sorry, I meant to let it play the whole way. You can kind of hear when it looped back over, it just didn't have, like, it's a little harsh of a loop because it's not carrying over that delay effect into the first bar. So, like, this is why you sometimes need to either record a longer section or be able to, like, cut into the middle of it or capture the tail or do all that stuff. So, um, yeah, here it still sounds fine though. But if I want to come in and I'm going to go to live mode, got some, oh, let's do this one. Take a second for it to cut over. So we're playing. Everything's in sync right now. Just going to turn it down a tiny bit. So it's in sync. But if I come in and pitch this up, or let's pitch it down, you can hear all of a sudden the rhythm's out. And the reason why the rhythm is out is I just recorded something that actually is rhythmic. So it is going to just be playing at whatever speed it is now. And you can go do the math to figure out like what I've just changed it to for a BPM and all that. But it's if you're just in that flow where you're trying to work really quickly, it can be very jarring where all of a sudden you're like, what the heck just happened to what I was playing? So, be very cognizant and careful of anything that's rhythmic that you want to resample. That said, though, yeah, like I've been loving using the M8 and the Chaos Pad 2 Mini here just because I can very quickly come in and let's say I'm like I kind of still want to do something with this and I don't mind like changing the rhythm. I can come in and just go grab, I don't know, the low pass filter slicer and I'm gonna go shift option, whoops, shift option, double tap it. Maybe it's technically out of sync, but like if I go render this, I can now add like some different rhythmic content to it. And maybe this will end up sounding really cool. We're about to find out. So, hold on. Just switching to song mode. Oh, wait. I gotta actually put the right, I gotta change the instrument here. Again, like this now needs to be C4 because we don't want to be repitching the rhythmic content that we just did. But you can hear there's some issues with it. Like we're clipping, but that's a different problem. Anyway, I don't know. I would say don't be afraid to resample, but just know or kind of practice and take some of the time to understand what you plan to do with it afterwards, especially if you're looking to repitch or turn things into an instrument. If you're looking to get multi-samples, turn off things like reverb. If anything's got an LFO, like phasers, delays, turn that stuff off, resample it, and then find out what effects you can use to replace them in your own DAW. If you're on like the MPC or Ableton Live or something. If not, you're going to have to learn to live with some of the oddities if you're doing something like on the SP404 Mark II or the Dirty Wave M8 or whatever, and just kind of find some creative ways around them. Anyway, thank you for the question. Everybody, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.